The timing chain has 21 teeth on the crank gear and 42 teeth on the cam gear. And you figure, take 42 divided by, well, you have 360 degrees divided by 42, that's 8.5 degrees, a little bit over 8.5 degrees per tooth. So it's less than 10 degrees of an angle. So 10 degrees of an angle isn't that hard to visually be off. So anyway, quick view of what we're going to do here. To make it easier to see through the holes, I take the timing mark and I make a little paint mark. Now I'm between these teeth, so if I'm off a tooth, it's going to be over here or over here, and you won't be able to see that timing mark. And then this is a 9 keyway. So this is I'm going to start off with 0. So this is the 0 tooth. And then this is the keyway for 0. So I'm just going to highlight that lightly with my yellow. So I know it's going to go on that keyway, but that's my timing mark. And additionally, I will need a cam bolt. Need the gears, the chain, my tool. So I have my crank gear and my cam gear. So I'm going to put the crank gear on, and I've got my highlighted keyway, and my timing mark should be about up. Now I don't have the chain on. What I'm going to do is use my little tool. Notice I've got a notch here for the keyway. And then once the cam bolt is in and it's resting on here, this is pretty much self-centering. So you can see the mark here, maybe a little bit off. You see the yellow, but you can also see the actual machined circle there. And then you can see the yellow there, pretty obvious. At that point, remove the tool. Carefully remove the cam gear. Slide the crank gear out a little bit. Looks like I'm pretty well lined up. So I've got my timing marks there and there. Double check myself here, make sure, don't know how it could be possible, but my timing mark is there, my yellow, and my yellow's there, so I am comfortable that my tool has helped me align the gears. Now sometimes when you're putting the cam gear on, you have to be careful because you could possibly knock the keyway of the cam out. But if you did that, see if you can get a video, maybe going this way. You can use this as a straight edge. If the keyway come out, the cam gear wouldn't be in all the way, and this would be, you'd have a gap. This would be out, and this would be in, and you wouldn't have a nice straight line there. And this looks to be in good shape. And then you also wouldn't have the cam sitting in the cam gear as neatly as that. Now, my wife asked me a question a while ago, and I've seen people ask this before, about, like, oh, the letters are upside down. Should this be at 6? It can be. It doesn't. You can do the cam gear at 12 or at 6. Crank gear has to be at 12 o'clock. And for some of you millennials that aren't used to analog watches, when the big can is right there, that's 12 o'clock. When it's down there, that's 6 o'clock. All right. So again, you remember earlier I said there's 21 teeth on the crank gear and there's 42 on the cam gear. So it's a 2-to-1 ratio. So as I make one full revolution, you'll see the numbers, the marks come back up. And if you prefer that method, you can see, well, guess I didn't. If you look close, can you see it, or I need to put a light on it? You can see the yellow in both?
Yes.
All right. So cam gear can be 6 o'clock or 12 o'clock, and the tool has the sight holes to where you can use either one. All right. Goes up to top dead center on both the compression stroke, where the spark plug would be about to fire and make power. And then it comes up again as it's pushing out the exhaust, and then as it goes down, it pulls in the intake charge. So if you look right now, this is the exhaust lifter, and this is the intake lifter for number 1. And if you can see down in there, the exhaust lobe is closing and the intake lobe has started to open. Meanwhile, over here at number 6, these aren't as easy to see, but you can see how the lifters are sitting down low and even. These are closed. So at 6 o'clock on the camshaft gear, number 6 cylinder is about to fire. Number 1 is finishing the exhaust and is starting to open the intake. So this is the overlap period. Now, number 1 piston is on the compression stroke. So if you're setting your distributor, if you do the cam gear at 12 o'clock, you'll set your distributor to fire on number 1 cylinder. And if you're setting the cam gear at 6 o'clock, your distributor needs to be pointing to number 6 cylinder. Can you do it again? This is my original version. It was all handmade. Then I took the dimensions of this and I had a CNC version of it made. After I had this version made, I started realizing that some timing chains have the timing marks in different locations. And so I hand elongated some of the marks, some of the holes to make it easier to see the marks. So based on that, I had the newest version where the holes are elongated when the CNC work is done. And this is, I sell these on eBay, or you can contact me personally and I can get you one. And this one is my own version, where I took this one and just hand dressed it, smoothed over the edges, and did the machine turn. If you're interested in a fancy one like this, that'd be an extra $6 or so, and a few bucks extra, and contact me. This is the one I'll be using today. Now, the question is, why do you need this tool? People put timing chains on every day, and most of them go on without any issue. But I remember back in the 80s, I'd changed a few camshafts. I was a teenager, and I had one motor that ran like crap. And talking with some older hot rod friends, they all suggested that I was off a tooth on the timing chain. I didn't believe it, didn't know how I could make a silly mistake like that. Tore back into the motor, sure enough, I was one tooth off on the timing chain.